Hey guys, and welcome to Fireborn Radio, the UK-based Destiny podcast about anything and everything relating to the Destiny universe and, well, gaming. You joined us in an odd week, a week where we say goodbye to the godfathers of heavy metal, Black Sabbath, who are no more, but then we also say hello to some Crucible changes and some new IPs that are making the waves in the gaming world. So let's see who is joining us this week. So first up, we have a Guardian who, well, he just keeps talking about The Witcher every time we're on a chat, or The Last Guardian. So you can all guess who that is. So this week I'm joined by Alex. Hey Al, welcome back. What have you been playing this week?
I've been playing The Witcher and The Last Guardian. No. Actually, you've got The Last Guardian.
I do.
Yeah, I've pretty much been playing Destiny, to be honest. I haven't really had time to play much games this week. It's been quite busy. I played a bit of the Fire Emblem game on the mobile, which actually I've never played a Fire Emblem game before, and actually really enjoyed it. So I think that seems to be Nintendo's aim, in that bring their games onto mobiles and get mass market playing them, and get the message out there, and hopefully people will buy their games on their actual consoles. So actually would be interested in having a look at a Fire Emblem game on maybe 3DS or on the Switch when it comes out, because I actually really enjoyed the mobile game. But that's it, really.
Okay, fair enough. Well, good to have you back again. Mm-hmm. Second up, we have a Guardian who has been elbow deep in dough. And that's the dough that you roll out to make pizzas. So you can all guess who that is. So welcome back, Finn. What have you been playing this week?
All right, Jay, I have continued mostly playing Overwatch. I've played a bit of Destiny. We did a trials run on Friday, was it? That we dipped our toe in the steamy waters of trials. But other than that, I've played a lot of Overwatch, including a couple of nights where I realised I'd stayed up until 1:30 in the morning on a school night where I had to go to work or whatever the next day. So regretted that. But I've been really enjoying Overwatch, still trying to get better at it, and I feel like that's possible because I'm still new, so lots of room for improvement. So mostly that.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, well, good to have you back on again, and I can confer that, yes, Overwatch is awesome, but we'll talk about more of that in a minute. So, last but not least, we have a Guardian who, well, I'm sure this must be a record now. We've had Raph on for, is it 3 consecutive weeks? Surely that must be some sort of record. But in true Raph fashion, just to kind of break the mold, he's not going to be here next week. So, we'll talk to him while we've got him. So, hey, Raph, what have you been playing?
Hey, everyone. Hey, listeners. It's good to be back and staying back for now. I'm still playing Dragon Age Inquisition, although I'm really using up the whole not having anything to do on it now that I completed the story quest and managed to kill a load of dragons on it. Also playing a load of Titanfall 2. I'm really, really into the multiplayer of it now. I was playing a bit with Finn before, I was playing a bit with Dicko, a bit with other people as well. I think I was playing with you as well. Loving it, absolutely loving it. For us to say that I may prefer the PvP over Destiny's PvP, it's really, really good. And I've jumped back into Star Wars as well, the Old Republic, because they're doing a 250% XP boost this month. So I might jump in on that while that's going on. And I've stopped playing Final Fantasy now. I'm waiting for the updates to come out.
Fair enough. Well, good to have you back again, Raph, just for this week at least. Or we nearly made it a month, but oh well. Right, what have I been playing? As Finn alluded to before, Overwatch. I bought Overwatch, and I'm really, really enjoying it. It's just very different to Destiny. Everyone's on an equal playing field. It's just how good you are. Whereas on Destiny, it's mainly about what guns you've got. Where you can get the best players with the best guns, that's fine. But then I can go against a worse player than myself who's got a better gun and just outshoots me every time. So it's a bit frustrating. But with Overwatch, really enjoying it. I think I got rid of it originally because no one played it. And then I think the first night I got it, I think we were in a group of 6, and it was fun. It was just fun. And you only are progressing the levels to get loot boxes. To get to obviously get just ranking.
Stuff, yeah. It's
cosmetic, but I still enjoy getting the loot boxes because I'm like, oh, what skin am I going to get now? And it's just a lot of things that Bungie could learn from Blizzard Activision, maybe, with regards to that, just how streamlined it is. Considering it's only a PvP only game, it's still just fantastic. It is really good. I did have a go at the Fire Emblems game as well. I'm trying to think what else I played. Did play a bit of Trials with Finn. I am dreadful. I'm trying to. I think that's about it, really. I did play some Titanfall 2 with Raf and Dicko and Pete last week. That was really good, actually. The PvP was, again, it's just everyone's equal. But the only thing I feel about that is that it is a bit imbalanced in the fact that if someone gets a Titan, you're fecked straight away. You know, you're literally running around and getting stepped on, squashed, smashed, splattered everywhere. Just, you know, whoever gets the first Titan basically wins the game, I feel. So,
no, I think they're a bit squishier than that. I think the Titans are quite squishy. I think if you play against a team and they know the map well enough, they can hide from you until they get their Titans, or they can just do a lot of chip damage with like charge rifles and stuff. I don't think you can go on a massive rampage.
Half of the strategy is knowing when to use your Titan, because if you drop your Titan first and everyone just gets on you and blows you up and you're left without a Titan, and the other team, like 3 of them drop Titans, and then you're completely outgunned with Titans. It's more about when to use your Titan and when to make it more of a level playing field. It's not like a super which can just turn the tide of the game. They're really not that overpowered. I mean, I've taken down quite a few Titans just as a pilot with my heavy weapon. So it's not that bad. Plus, you can jump on them, and you generally can be quite hard to hit as well. As long as you get out of there, you should be fine.
I just kind of felt that just also because of the dwindling player base on that game, that we didn't get teamed up against people who were of the same level and skill. It was people who were literally going on 30 kill rampages with a Titan.
It says pro above their name. I don't know what you have to do to get the pro above your name, but I feel like that's what I play against on there.
Yeah, but I mean, we started off. I first played with Rafi and started off, and we won, and I was like, "This is fantastic. This is really good." And then Dicko and Pete jumped in, and then we struggled to win a game because we just kept it was just like dying non-stop. So, it was it's a good game. I need to finish the campaign. I believe Dicko finished it last week, and he said it was really good. So I'm looking. I've got plenty to play, and I'm going to hopefully have more in a bit. So let's quickly talk about some news. So has anyone got any news they want to talk about?
I had a small bit of news that E3, the next E3 tidbit. 2017, a tidbit.
A little tidbit.
We're already getting onto E3.
Tidbits.
My tidbits are dramatically better than Rafi's tidbits. But no. E3 is we're talking about E3 again, and I'm looking forward to it. But apparently it's opening its doors to the public for the first time. Apparently 15,000 tickets will go on sale on Monday. Price $150 to $250. So I won't be going because, one, I don't have $250, and 2, I can't afford plane tickets. 2, is it LA? Is it in? Is it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. But if anyone wants to donate, then more than happy to get us to E3.
Good luck with that, Al. Good luck with that.
Okay. Fair enough. Anyone else got a little bit of news, or is that it? I think that's it. Have you got something, Al, about FIFA? I believe you were talking about before.
Yeah, well, the only other thing that I think is notable this week, other than releases some games, is FIFA. So a YouTuber for FIFA started up a website. It was a gambling website, and users would log on and they'd use the FIFA in-game currency, which you can buy, to bet. And it got investigated, and now he's being prosecuted, and he's being fined. I will bring you the amount, £91,000. So, yeah, I think it's the first of its kind. This kind of case with a video game, with regards to illegal gambling.
Wasn't there one last year with regards to Counter-Strike Operative? Someone ran a website.
Wasn't gambling. That I can't remember what that was for, but that was something controversial that was against the law. But I don't think it was gambling. What was that? I can't remember.
There's lots of areas where I think people are going to have to watch out with gambling in gaming over Twitch or whatever. I watched a few minutes of a Twitch stream where a guy had like his viewers were betting on whether he was going to win the game or not, but they were betting with emotes on Twitch. And I don't know at what point you put Like, can you buy them? I don't know. But I think there's definitely scope there for people to get drawn into gambling on gaming as an esport. Because all sports eventually get used for gambling. Then that's where all the money comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So I
apparently,
think it's something they have to watch out for.
apparently he showed videos of himself winning thousands of pounds, which he encouraged his 1.4 million subscribers to play as well. So don't do that. Don't run illegal gambling rackets.
Al's top tip.
Top tip. Don't break the
No
law.
organised crime.
Is there any weekly Switch update, Alex, or have you actually got nothing this week?
Well, there's various bits of Switch updates. There's no new games added. I think they've settled on 10. They've released the specs, which is what we said before. Apparently, it takes less than a year to port a PC game to the Switch. So apparently, Nintendo have got to grips with Unreal Engine 4. Was it 5 now? I think it's 4. So I think it's not really much, really.
I love
Only
the
that it's
positive
coming out
spin you
soon.
put on that, though. It takes less than a year to port a PC game onto
Yeah,
the
rather
Nintendo
than
Switch.
it takes.
Rather than it takes
It can take up to a year. It takes an
Months.
entire year. And
Switch can't run PC games. You have to spend months changing it. Yeah, okay. Right, yeah.
it
Less
adds
than
on
a
a year
year.
of development time. Actually, it's honest. It's pretty bad, really, isn't it? Because development time is already quite long, sometimes 1 or 2 years, and it just must cost an extra arm and a leg to do it for another year. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't care about the PC.
We'll have to wait
games
till
for
next
Switch.
week.
All I care is
Alex's
Zelda.
Switch tidbits. It's less than, I think, is it 3 weeks tomorrow? Friday.
3 weeks
out.
tomorrow. Yes.
They have 3 weeks on
Can't
Friday,
wait.
so 3 weeks and 2 days. So not that I'm counting down or anything, but 3 weeks and 2 days. Okay, so I've got a little bit of news, a couple of bits of news. So firstly, it was announced that looks like EA is done updating Star Wars Battlefront. So they've put an official blog on a blog post on the official Battlefront site, basically just saying it states a continued commitment to, but stresses that focus has shifted to the new game. So basically, everyone's jumping onto Battlefront 2, which they promised to have a single player this time. So I'm quite looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So what else have we got? PS4 is finally getting external hard drive support for our PS4 fans out there. So update 4.50 will basically add external HDD support. You'll also be able to use custom wallpapers and supposedly a quick menu overhaul and simplified notifications. I believe 3D Blu-rays are going to be played on the PSVR. I think that's going to be as well. So it's going to be quite good. What else have we got? There was a little bit of controversy this week about Overwatch. A lot of the console fans are complaining about the input conversion devices that basically allow people to use mouse and keyboard on the PlayStation 4 for Overwatch, saying they've got the unfair advantage. So this has then been supported by Jeff Kaplan, who's the game director of Overwatch, who basically went onto the Blizzard forum and just said that the Overwatch team objects to the use of mouse and keyboard on console, and they've basically contacted both first-party console manufacturers and expressed a concern about it, and they've lobbied to basically get rid of it. So just allow mouse and keyboard input conversion devices, or openly and easily support mouse and keyboard for all players. Now, this has come with a bit of controversy purely because a lot of the input devices are used for players with disabilities. They're able to now, actually play games because of the, the conversion into a different formats. So obviously, you guys haven't played Overwatch apart from myself and Finn. How do you feel about that, Finn?
I don't get too upset about the idea of someone being able to use a keyboard and a mouse. Yes, they've got an aiming advantage, but it wouldn't upset me that much. And I think it's probably more important that if people have a reason why they can't use a controller, that they can use something else. It doesn't upset me. Plus, there's all skill-based matchmaking and that kind of thing in Overwatch. So if someone's using a keyboard and a mouse and they're good at the game, then they're going to be a grandmaster because their aim's so good. I probably won't play against them. If it turns out they're really bad and they're using a keyboard and a mouse, then fine. They're probably standing in the wrong place, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, it's using a mouse and keyboard is not natural for a console. So surely it's emulating the analog sticks as opposed to actually, being natural. So surely there'll be some kind of problems with the kind of the mouse acceleration, the movement, maybe awkward moving, etc. I'm sure that'll play a part.
I think it's probably good though. I think just the tracking on a mouse is so much better, so it'll just be better aim, won't it?
Yeah, fair enough. So again, any of you guys out there play Overwatch and let us know what you think.
I'm quite interested in trying Overwatch actually again.
I've got it.
Peer pressure. Yeah.
It does look. I mean, Titanfall looks really good mechanically, but it looks like a shooter that you can get into Titan. It looks good. It looks really good and everything. But Overwatch does have something very unique. Does play a lot differently. So
is this not like you when you went, I'll play World of Warcraft because everyone's playing World of Warcraft, and then you play it for about 2 minutes and then never play it again?
Well, no. I mean, World of Warcraft is different because
pretty different game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was always surprised that you never actually played it because it's your two favorite things. Firstly, it's a shooter, and secondly, it's just PvP. So I was always surprised that you didn't enjoy it. I do think that you didn't give the beta enough of a chance because we didn't actually know. I mean, I tried the beta and hated it, but I actually loved the game. And you do. I got a Finn 101, didn't I, for Roadhog yesterday? And
the Roadhog breakdown.
And I, just in the custom PvP, me and Finn was giving all the kind of the caveats of the role and where's good points to stand, and also just what's the limitations of the class. And I've been playing that, and I love it. And I will only play that class now, even though that's not my actual first class that I prefer, because I prefer Soldier 76 because it was an out-and-out shooter. Roadhog is really, really good, and I've had some really good plays with that, and I actually enjoy it. And when you pull off one of the plays, it makes such a difference.
Do you find that it's like fighting games where everyone chooses their own character and they just play with that character and they main that character? Is it like that?
Not really. So some people do. So I could imagine that maybe you would really like Genji or something, because that's one that people like. You can kind of do your own thing, like make a little flank, make a move, whatever. But you need to be able to play more than one character, and there'll be certain situations where if you just kept picking your same character, then you'd lose the game, because they might pick the character that is the best counter to you. They might have two characters that counter what you're playing, and you just get nowhere. You need to swap, or it might be that your team really needs a healer or a tank or more damage or whatever. And so you have to swap if you want to win. Because if you lose the first 3 fights, then chances are you need to change something in order to be able to win the 4th fight and then have a chance of winning the game. So I would say if you're playing with random people, some people will insta-lock the same character. So as soon as the character select screen comes up, they go to the guy they always play, they punch that in, and they don't change. But that's just matchmaking, isn't it? That's what people are like. If you're playing with a group of friends and stuff, the great part is that you get to come up with a plan. So we've been trying to do something called a dive comp, which is where Winston, who's the monkey, the big monkey, he jumps in, and then you bubble and you protect him, and then everyone swarms in and you jump all over the enemy. And it's super, super fun. And sometimes it doesn't work and their defenses hold and you get embarrassingly wiped. But then you can do it again until you smash through the defenses, and then you roll over them for the rest of the game. It's really, really good. But you can. The best part is coming up with a plan, discussing the plan, picking the characters that are going to fit with it, and then executing the plan, and the opposing team not being able to stop you. And then that's the best thing. Then you win and it's ace. Then the next game, it doesn't work. You get your ass kicked because their plan worked and yours didn't.
One thing I learned straight away was every time I died, I literally was like, boom, straight in. No, it's not actually. Sometimes it's good just to hold back, regroup, and then attack as a unit, as rather than trickling in one by one. The only thing I will say, Alex, if you are considering getting it, is you got to play it with a group, because it takes the whole game to a much better height. I mean, I played a couple of games this afternoon when no one else was on, with just some randoms, and it's difficult. It's the same with kind of Destiny. It's the same with any PvP actually. not everyone always plays the objective, and no one does tactics. Whereas if you get a group, you can coordinate. It takes the game to a next level, and I love playing with a group. But it's still an enjoyable game to jump on for half an hour and bash a quick one out.
Nice choice of words there. One thing that I've read about Overwatch that I would like to see in Destiny is this like play of the game thing, where at the end of the game it shows you who made the best play. I think that would be quite cool in Destiny to have. Yeah,
that's a really good system. Plus, you get a death cam that shows you how you died.
Oh yeah,
and I think in Destiny, people would really appreciate that because a lot of the time people die and they're screaming, "Oh my god, he shot me through the wall," or "Oh my god, that shouldn't have happened." And because of the way the connections worked, you didn't get the information that said they could do that. But if you saw a kill cam that showed that, oh yeah, they could see me.
Yeah,
it
point blank.
was a bit delayed. Yeah, I think that would be quite good. The issue is, at the moment, the death cam would probably show that you shouldn't be dead.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Some of the times, and people would record it, and then they'd send it into Bungie and go, "Why am I dead? You couldn't see me."
Maybe one for Destiny too.
Yeah. Well, if you're interested in getting it, Alex, let us know, and we'll jump on.
Cool.
The last little bit of news that I've found, this is a little tidbit, is that February the 9th, that is tomorrow, where we are now. So February the 9th is the Activision Blizzard fourth quarter calendar result conference call. So that's basically where Activision Blizzard will go over the kind of the quarters, the everything basically, and then it also starts they start discussing the future. So realistically, that's when leaks may start happening. Destiny 2 might be noted as something coming at the end of this year in quarter. It'll be, what is it? 3, 6. It'll be quarter 2, won't it? So the second quarter of 2017, the financial quarter anyway. So yeah, keep your eyes on that. It's just a little thing, but I expect if there's going to be leaks, it will be tomorrow when obviously Activision start discussing how well done with Destiny, and also what's coming next, really. And that's when kind of all the investors, etc., look at that. So anyway, how about we talk about some sandbox updating with Destiny if we're done with the news?
Nah.
Everyone good with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nah. Okay, what we'll do is we'll talk about no. So basically, we're recording a bit late purely because we wanted to speak about the stream that just happened. So we've just watched the stream, the Sandbox update reveal stream with Deej, Josh Hamrick, and Greg Pang who are Sandbox designers. So firstly, we'll shout who watched it.
Me.
I did.
I think we all did except Raf.
So,
I was walking home when it was on, so I didn't
no excuse.
No excuse, Rafi. In this day and age, just no excuse. Okay, so I mean, the main thing they talk about is the hotfix patch that's going to come, which is 2.5.02. So straight away, kicking off, we saw that they put some graphs up and even said to screenshot them. So the first kind of graph that they put up was basically, it was a list of all the classes and subclasses and what guns they use in PvP. So surprise, shotgun is the dominant gun in PvP. It's for every class, and then it's followed by pulse rifle, or closely followed by hand cannon. I mean, hand cannons, especially on hunters, are actually hunters. 13% blade dancers use 13% of blade dancers use hand cannons as opposed to 10% pulse rifles. Gunslingers use 12% for both. And then Night Stalkers use 14% hand cannons and 13% pulse rifles. So I think that kind of goes with the mantra of, kind of like, a gunslinger hunter, they do just seem to go hand in hand. I mean, surprise, the swords are not an option. There's no issues with the swords.
1% Titan Defender.
1% Titan Defenders, yeah.
Probably in his bubble.
It would be the bubble. But then again, it's not actually that different from the rocket and machine gun kill percentage, is it? That was only sort of 1 or 2%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're standing in a bubble with a sword out, I mean, just don't go in the bubble. Just go away.
Just go away. Yeah. Just go away. But I mean, that posed the first problem is that shotguns are the main problem. I mean, Titan Defenders 23%. all Titan defenders use it. Well, what do you expect? You got nothing else.
Yeah, backup
Warlock, Void Walkers, and Sunsingers 14%, Stormcaller 15%, Sunbreakers 12%, Striker 17%. Hunter Night Stalker 16. It's ridiculous, and that goes with what we've talked about. So I'm glad that we were a little bit right. But
before you move on,
we couldn't be right. Sorry,
one interesting thing actually is the Titan Sunbreaker. The most used primary weapon is actually an auto rifle at 12%, then pulse rifle 10%, scout rifle 8%, and hand cannons 8%. So the Titan Sunbreakers are actually seem to be using the auto rifles the most for some reason. Maybe just because of their is it the exotic auto rifle or the legendary auto rifle from the gunsmith? But I'm not sure what that's.
No one uses it. No, people don't really use the Fabian strategy.
No one really uses
it. It's
no.
probably just a generalization of who plays on what sort of subclass.
Yeah.
So most like Titans that would do trials or whatever are playing as a striker.
True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the 6% strikers.
With a smaller number on defender, and then an even smaller number on Sunbreaker. It feels like. So I suspect that it's just a play style thing at different levels.
Yeah.
I mean, these graphs, it doesn't tell us anything we don't know. It just tells us that PvP is dominated by pulse rifles and hand cannons, and PvP is dominated purely by shotguns and then sniper rifles, and I think sidearms don't even get a look in, really, which is a shame. Fusion rifles are a bit more used than I expected, but...
It's going to be changing on the sidearms, though.
Yeah, sidearms are going to be...
As we get to later, that's going to be changing.
Yep, okay, so... Let's kick off. I've got my notes in front of me. Let me just rustle my papers. And I get my notes out, my glasses on. So, yeah, pretty much confirmed. Pulse and the hand cannon dominant species. I'm pretty sure they confirmed they didn't actually change sidearms at all, did they?
No, they haven't. No, they've not changed sidearms.
So they've not changed sidearms at all. So exactly the same.
Just as good as they were.
Okay, so let's start with shotguns. Does anyone want to read out their notes, or are you okay with mine?
You go for it.
You go for it.
Yeah, okay. You go.
So they've decreased the magnetism and aim assist from hip fire for all shotguns. They've decreased the in-air accuracy. The fourth shot was still... I can't even read my handwriting.
Do you want me to go through mine?
No, they decreased what they did was they decreased the in-air accuracy. Kind of when your guardians jump up and then they shoot. So they've reduced that quite substantially so that it actually takes skill now. You'd like to think. The only thing I will say is I think that's what my little note is there for, is that when he was showing that, I actually still thought he shot from quite a far away and it still killed him with his Matador. And I was quite surprised at that. But anyway, I digress. They've removed precision damage from all shotguns. However, they have added 20% bonus damage to shotguns in PvP.
Wait, what?
So
I think they removed precision damage.
They've removed precision damage from shotguns. Yeah.
Oh, except for
the only one who'll have it is Chaperone.
So I got a phone call during this bit. Did you say they've got a 20% damage buff on shotguns?
Bonus damage in PvE only.
Oh, right.
Okay, you said PvP. You said PvP as a word.
Oh, sorry, no, they've added 20% buff / bonus damage for shotguns in PvE because they want to make sure that they don't, this isn't going to be a massive, effect on the actual guns in PvE because this is the problem we have, and I assume they have, with the fact that they have one set of guns for two different things, really. What else over here? I've got... Universal Remote and Chaperone still have precision damage, and they've removed / decreased ADS time by 25% in Rangefinder. So when you go to Rangefinder and you go to aim down the sights, there's actually a 25% decreased time. So basically,
the thing is, they kept doing this on the stream. That they said decreased time when they actually meant increased time, because you decrease the time it takes to do something, you make it faster.
Right. Yeah. Well,
they actually mean increase the time, and they did that all the way through the stream. Every time they said decrease, they meant increase. But they increased the ADS time. It takes more time to aim down sights with Rangefinder.
Yes. Although, without showing it side by side, it happening, it doesn't really seem.
It looked fine. It looked fine. Yeah, it looked fine.
Well, then there we go. Then so that's the changes really to shotguns. Discuss what do you guys think? Is it enough? Do we need? is it enough or not?
I just want to point one thing that I found really funny is that they were saying that they reduced the damage or spreads or whatever they reduce when shooting from airborne or from above.
Increase the spread.
Increasing the spread. And he was like, right, it's going to be much harder to shoot.
And he did it first time.
And they were just killing everyone. He was killing everyone.
Yeah,
they tried to go
Yeah.
a bit further away, still killed him. And it was like, it's going to be much harder. And I killed him. I killed him.
And he tried to mess up just to specifically show. But he was too good, obviously. But yeah, what do you guys think? Is this going to be enough? I mean, the shotguns are still going to be the dominant.
So
they're still the dominant, aren't they?
I don't remember hearing anything that would stop you killing someone with a perfectly rolled matador from 10 meters away.
No.
That'd be my thing. They didn't do anything, as far as I can tell, that would make it impossible for you to absolutely wreck someone from maximum range with a matador.
Yeah, damage.
It will make shotguns feel worse and feel less consistent. But I don't necessarily think you want to make the guns feel worse, because it's a game. You're playing it because you want it to feel good and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they should have probably made it less effective in more ways. But I guess they're worried about it's only really a couple of shotguns that the problems with. It didn't feel like these changes are going to help out the weaker shotguns. I don't know. I'm not sure about the shotguns, but I think there are changes they've made overall to special ammo and stuff, which we'll get onto later, that will mean that it's less of a problem overall, maybe.
I think they've just made the less viable shotguns even less viable, even
less viable, even less more viable.
I saved, I think I've still got it, a patch A shotgun that I had a really good roll on. I think I saved it. And I was just thinking, wait, one day they'll make a change that means that the lower impact shotguns are worth using. That it's not happening, is it? It's not going to come.
No, it's not happening. I can't see it happening. I mean, I think this is the last big weapons update for Destiny 2. So if it's not now, tough.
I expected there to be specific nerfs to the high impact shotguns, and I didn't hear that.
Okay, Raph, what do you think? Because obviously this is all new to you.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Alex and Finn. It's not really helping because everyone always runs around with the same shotgun with different variations, but normally you find the same shotgun in and out. They've not really addressed that. They've just made the obsolete shotguns that no one runs around with even more obsolete. So, and like I said, I didn't see the stream, so I don't know how far away he was, if he's jumping over someone and he's meant to be less, it's meant to be harder to hit or harder to kill, and who's getting it. And so I didn't have that information in front of me to actually physically see. But it doesn't feel like they've addressed the underlying issue. I mean, shotguns were never overpowered. It was a particular type of shotgun that was overpowered. And yeah, it sounds like they haven't addressed that problem. They've just blanketed the entire class of gun. Which I think they've just gone about it the wrong way.
I mean, the fact that they had the Matador out rather than trying any others. They had the Matador and they tried the Chaperone. They showed the Chaperone just so they can still get precision damage. But apart from that, they had the Matador and it was still wrecking shop. Yeah, there was a couple of shots where I thought, right, actually, yeah, that could be better, because if that was if that was in the current patch, I would have been killed, or that guy would have been killed. So there was a couple of bits where I looked and I was, oh yeah, okay, I see that. But then it's minimal tweaks when realistically it needed a lot more work doing to it specifically, rather than just kind of like they said, overall class. They needed to look at certain guns and look at maybe, they've generalized saying, this is the X amount of people use shotguns, but we'll break it down to what type of shotguns. Like they've done, when we go on to pulse rifles in a minute, we'll see that auto rifles, we'll see that they've actually broke it down to different types, where they didn't do that with shotguns. And I'm quite annoyed at that, because
it's because people I think people know what the type of shotguns are and what gets used, and I think Bungie were well aware. I mean, it's why they're probably using the Matador during the stream, is because that's the gun that's used. There's no real other shotgun apart from one or two that are used. So they don't need to. As I said, it's one. It's not even one type of shotgun. It is one specific.
Well, no, it's one type of shotgun.
It is one type of shotgun. It's
I mean,
It's the best. It's
high
the best
range.
example. It's the best example of
Yeah.
the
Of that, okay.
act high range killing machines.
Mm.
It's the best one of them, but the other ones are still really good. If the Matador didn't exist, then the other ones would still be good.
Mm.
But we'll have to see. We'll have to play it and see
We'll
how
have
it
to try it. I mean, luckily we've not
it's
got
the
much
whole
to wait.
sandbox, isn't it? It's the whole sandbox, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if all the other changes add up in a way that means that shotguns are selected slightly less at the time and other options are selected a bit more, then fine. If sidearms get a bit more love and they're not doing what was it, like 2% of kills with sidearm kills?
Yeah,
something
if
like that.
I've got it in front of me. Give me 2 seconds. I'll look.
Sidearms.
It was sidearms were pretty much between 1 to 3%.
Yeah.
With 2 being the average, basically. Yeah.
Okay, should we move on to pulse rifles?
Yeah, well, just before we move off secondaries, the only thing I will say is they didn't actually mention fusions or snipers at all in this stream, and I'm annoyed about that as well. If this is a big weapons balance update, and they're talking about how they want to combat shotguns, they've not talked about the other methods too. All they've said is we didn't touch sidearms, didn't mention fusion rifles, and didn't mention snipers, which I was quite annoyed at, and I just think this is. Personally, I mean, I love the game and I'll play it regardless, and I'll buy Destiny 2 regardless. But I feel like they've half-arsed it. I feel like this is just, you know what? We've got no content. Rise of Iron was a lot shorter than Taken King. You know what? Let's just generate something, and that's the way I feel about this. And it kind of goes along with the way they've done shotguns. I feel is wrong. So, but yeah, I digress. We'll move on to pulse rifles and we'll talk about overall the patch, how we feel it's going to affect the meta and the actual game itself, probably towards the end of the program. So pulse rifles. Well, I can hear you all crying out, what about that bloody clever dragon that I keep getting killed by 9 out of 10 times in Crucible? Well, they've actually reduced the rate of fire on the highest rate of fire pulse rifles by 7.7%. So that's kind of look like your clever dragons, your grasp mallocs, etc. Basically what they said is it takes 1 more frame to kill. However, I was looking and it's clever dragon still annihilated in 3 burst headshots. So
I thought it did look slower, to be honest, when he was shooting it. I don't know if he was shooting it slower than when he was testing it on Bannerfall. I didn't know if he was actually shooting it slower than what it actually shoots, because it did look slower. But
yeah, that's a hard test, isn't it? Unless you actually know that they're firing it at max speed. It's
exactly. You can't see the controller, etc.
See, the way I view this part of the change, though, is it shrinks the gap in between like a hawk saw and a clever dragon.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, a hawk saw is still a really good gun, but it gets much less play because clever dragon beats it in so many ways. So I think this just closes the gap. And I think it'll mean that maybe if you get all headshots, the clever dragon's got a better time to kill. But if you get a few more body shots, it means the hawk saw's better. Something like that. It just rebalances it a little bit.
I mean, do you think a 7.7 reduce of the actual rate of fire is enough?
Yeah,
it's impossible. I think it's impossible to tell from that number. Because they've done patch notes before where they've said so-and-so's getting buffed by 8% or whatever. And then in-game, it's not even enough to affect the numbers you see.
Yeah.
Like one frame doesn't sound like a lot.
But it probably is.
30 frames per second, 1 frame doesn't sound like a lot.
Okay. What else have they done? So the high-caliber rounds, I know that's was a bit of an issue. The effect has been reduced on all pulse rifles, just pulse rifles. They also said the base flinch from pulse rifles has been reduced. Yeah, my handwriting is dreadful. I just realised I'm not even a doctor, and it's doctor's handwriting. I'm not even a doctor. The base flinch from pulse rifles has been reduced across the board. However, they said that for hand cannons and scout rifles, high caliber rounds has actually been fixed the way it's meant to be.
Yeah, it didn't work. You actually got less flinch.
Yeah.
Having no high caliber rounds.
So they said that that's actually helped and fixed it now. So hopefully we'll see. So everyone, please stop running your No Land Beyonds. Hopefully Clever Dragon flinch will be a thing of the past. They also did say they've reduced the mag size for the high rate of fire.
Which is something I suggested when we did the episode where we were asking for what we wanted, because it wasn't fair. Like if you compared them with other good pulse rifles, they had far too much ammo.
Yeah, because they were using what's the
hand-laid stock. So you could pick hand-laid stock, and it would reduce the magazine to 24, which for the blind petition was what you started with.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
It's just too much. Yeah. So this should be fine. It means that when you're picking your perks, you probably think, I'll go perfect balance rather than hand-laid stock.
Hand-laid stock, yeah. Because I mean, they've actually said that the brace frame. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, brace frame. Okay.
Because it was 30. It was 30 bullets in the magazine. Now it's been reduced to 24. So
and it goes down to 18. Actually,
it goes down to 18. So they've taken 6 off. The same as it was beforehand. They've obviously just reduced that. So that makes you consider a lot more, because obviously you think, have I got enough to engage in a couple of fights or not? So yeah, hopefully that does change the outcome of them. So they've also increased the rate of fire by 5.3% for the lowest rate of fire pulse rifles, i.e. spare change. It looks good, but again, you don't know. You don't know until you've got it in your actual hand, I suppose. I mean, spare change I've never enjoyed. I assume kind of Hopscotch Pilgrim is that low rate of fire, or is that medium rate of fire?
No, Hopscotch Pilgrim is the No One's Mercy. It's more spare change, and Apple of Discord, is it? I can't remember. Those kind of weapons, which actually he was reliably killing in two bursts to the head, which I don't know, because it's a slower rate of fire. If it's because did they say they've increased the damage?
No.
Was it always able to do that? Because
it's just the rate of fire.
Unless they were all running with really low armor, but he was reliably killing everyone in two bursts to the head. Could low rate of pulse rifles always do that? I don't think so. I think they may have slightly buffed the damage, because unless as I say, all the armor was really low. But I'll try them out, because actually it looks quite viable if it can 2-burst kill.
Well, I mean, surely that will affect the time to kill, surely the rate of fire. If you're getting more bullets into the head,
but it doesn't
faster, the time to kill.
No, it doesn't affect the burst to kill, though. The burst to kill will still be the same. It'll just be the DPS that will be higher.
Spare change could always 2-burst somebody before they made the changes. It's just it never happened.
But even with high armored guardians.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. I stand corrected.
Alex stands corrected. Yeah. So I mean, one other thing they mentioned is that this is again rifle. Just against all rifles, is that all rifles have had an in-air accuracy boost. So that's the scout rifle, the assault rifle, and the pulse rifle. Because I think they said they wanted to make it more in line with hand cannons, but not take away the hand cannon aspect of it, if that makes sense. So, I mean, do you do a lot of shooting? I mean, obviously, pulse rifles and autos, probably yes, more so, but scout rifles, I wouldn't say.
I occasionally, if I'm in a situation where I feel like I need to get up above someone to get out of the way or whatever, if they've got a shotgun, then I'll jump up. So I'd have a go with whatever I had.
Maybe. I mean, I rarely shoot from above. I rarely jump and shoot unless I've got Angel of Light on. So I don't have my controller set up where I can actually jump, shoot, and aim at the same time. Because
I reckon that's a very specific skill to have, and a very specific controller layout to have as well. I may actually have that layout where L2's like jump or something, and that way you can like jump and look at around at the same time.
Bumper jumper.
Yeah. I used to try and do it, but I did it as like a reaction, not to try to out skill, and I could never get any kills with it. And then I learned to slide instead, which helped me a lot better.
All that skill. Okay, so that's pulse rifles done. Kind of general consensus. Do you think it's going to make a difference? Are you going to see do you reckon Clever Dragon is still going to be the meta? That's the main thing. Is that still going to be an absolute beast, what you get killed by?
I think it'll still be good, but people will get the Hawk Saws back out.
Yeah, because Hawk Saws got the range. But Clever Dragon against Hawk Saw at Hawk's range, Hawk Saw would beat it. I don't think Clever Dragon has great range. So I think you'd see more Hawk Saws.
Okay, right. Well, moving on to auto rifles, or as Deej calls them, assault rifles. Now, these have been these. I'm excited. I'm excited for these, and me and Alex have made no secret. We've not hidden it that we absolutely love our auto rifles, and I think this may be the time they reign supreme again. So they basically said they've increased the base damage of low rate of fire auto rifles. They didn't actually specify how much though. That's the annoying thing. So we won't find that out until probably this week at Bungie. But did you guys watch the actual stream? Did you see he had the Genesis chain? And he was wrecking with it.
Yeah, doing 35 to the head. I think 35.
I have actually used that before in PvP. I've actually used it in trials, and I did better in trials with that than I was doing with my Clever Dragon because I just do better with auto rifles.
Mm-hmm.
They've also have increased the precision damage multiplier from 1.25% to 1.3%. So you're rewarded for obviously hitting those shots. I assume they didn't actually specify, but I assume that is then specifically for the low rate of fire. So realistically,
I think that was all autos, wasn't it? The crit multiplier.
I didn't actually. I don't think he specified, so I assume.
Yeah, I think it's all auto rifles. You mean the for getting the headshots, it does more damage than before.
The precision damage.
I think that was all of them. I'd be very surprised if it was just the slow fire.
That Saurus regime is going to be lethal.
I was going to say, Saurus coming back.
That's a headshot bullet magnet.
Because these were the two changes I wanted to offer auto rifles. That I thought if they had a better crit multiplier and they were better in the air, then people would be able to use them because you would use them to like charge at people in the air and you'd shoot down towards their head. It gives you a play style then.
Exactly, they have received that buff as well. That the in-air accuracy that's gone to all auto rifle. That's gone to all rifles. So they have received that along with a base damage buff for the low rate of fire ones, and also a buff to the precision damage multiplier. So I think that's going to hopefully I'd like to say the reign supreme, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, the annoying thing is on the kind of like the map they did at the end on Asylum. He was using the Doctrine of Passing. He wasn't actually using the Genesis chain. I would have thought he would have used the Genesis chain just to show what it was like. But no, they still, considering they talked specifically about the low rate of fire, didn't actually see any apart from the Genesis chain on Bannerfall, where everyone just stood still and let him kill him. So, auto rifles. I mean, I'm going to go straight to Alex with this one because Alex is an auto rifle aficionado. Auto rifles, yay or nay?
I'm always for an auto rifle buff, so I'm going to say yay. I'm going to try out the Saurus regime. I'm going to try out the Unbent Tree again, Doctrine of Passing. I mean, I think what the Monte Carlo would be good because it's got a barrel perk that increases damage even more. I think same for the Zalo Supercell. So I'll have a go at all of them, see how it turns out, do a bit of research on Reddit, see which one has the best time to kill. Still think that the high rate of fire one is going to be the best time to kill with the precision damage. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying the Saurus as well.
Monte Carlo is my favourite. I think maybe Monte Carlo with high caliber rounds could end up being a good choice.
Yeah.
I love Monte Carlo. I was using that a couple of weeks ago, actually. I can't remember why. I was using that, and I got the gold ornament for it as well. Looks awesome.
You know what could be good? The spinning up perk on Saurus regime, which would turn it into by halfway the medium rate of fire one, but with low rate of fire damage. So that could be pretty good.
Finn and Raf, what do you think of auto rifles? Are you going to give them a try, or are you firmly stuck in the pulse rifle camp?
So, Raf, you go first. You go first, Raf. You go first.
Well, I used to love auto rifles a lot, even when they were horribly underpowered. Like, I used to try and use them to very, very little success. I can't wait for them to come back again. I want to try, as controversial as it may sound, I want to try Hard Light. I love that gun. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the look of the gun or just what the gun actually does.
You just want a light show. You just want to look at the pretty lights.
I do. I'm essentially a mad guy when it comes to lights and still pretty things. No, I absolutely love it. I had an auto rifle from the last update, I believe it was, called some Soul Stealers. What was it called?
Soul Stealers Claw.
Claw.
Yeah, Soul Stealers Claw. I knew it was
the
like
April update.
Yeah, the April update. And I loved that gun. It was brilliant, but I scarcely used it now. I'm usually using like pulse rifle or something. But no, I can't wait for them to make it more viable. Like I said, I might do what Alex did. I might jump on and see which has the highest time to kill. I tend to go by what feels right, or the lowest. But I tend to go by what feels right, not necessarily what is right, and what feels most comfortable. Usually it's high rate of fire, low impact guns for me. So like the hard light, I really do want to try out the gun you mentioned before. What's it called?
Source?
Yes. No, not Source.
Monte Carlo.
Because I do love that gun as well. I love the way it looks. Just wish you could use the bayonet one. Really wish you could use bayonet.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah. like Gears of War style with the chainsaw.
Yeah, instead of like meleeing someone, you just.
I mean, you can get a knife thrown in your head by gunslingers. Yeah. So why not? Why not? Finn, what are you saying?
So I think Monte Carlo is the one I want to try because that's probably the only auto rifle I've ever spent any proper time using. Because when Night Stalker first came out, I loved the smoke bombs, so I'd play Rift. I think Rift was new as well. So I'd play Rift with a Monte Carlo and have a wombo combo on the Rift all the time, which is really obnoxious, but it worked and made it really hard for people to pick up the Rift. So I'll probably give that a go again. I think being able to get better in-air accuracy and maybe some more crit damage means there might be a play style that would suit some people. If you were going to be a bit of an auto rifle warrior rather than a shotgun warrior, you close the gap on someone, shoot down at the head. But it's not usually the way I play. I play a bit more defensively than that. So I probably won't do it. I prefer things where you can you can peek out of cover and do a bit of damage, maybe get the kill, then pop back in cover.
It's because you're not a Titan, that's why.
I've got a Titan.
Blazing.
I've got a Titan. I'm just also careful with that. Unless I've got Jug Shield, in which case shotguns are out.
Well, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so hand cannons. Now, who really enjoys hand cannons here? I think Finn's quite
me, probably.
Yeah, I think it's Finn, isn't it? I think we all remember the good old year of year one, the hand cannons in year one. Does everyone remember what that was like? Bliss.
Yeah,
or not. So, well, talking of year one, what they've done in this patch is they've actually increased the initial accuracy for the first shot. So they've actually reset it to year one hand cannon accuracy. So basically that first shot has a boosted accuracy. And then obviously after that, it's down to you. So they also have reduced the base range by 5 meters. So the drop-off's a bit more substantial. And that is to all hand cannons, regardless of what spec and what rate of fire, etc. That all hand cannons have had the base range spliced by 5 meters. So where does this put our Thorn, Finn? Our beloved Thorn. Where does this put it now? Because it was
Thorn still has the same problems, and it's got a problem with rate of fire. It's got lots of issues. Like, it's nice as a sort of niche gun, but I wouldn't look at it from the Thorn perspective. I'd look at it from the IS Luna and the Palindrome. Yeah, the ones people actually use. Yeah, the ones people use.
Thorn's still going to be rubbish, I think.
I think the initial accuracy buff could feel really good because I find that with the RNG with hand cannons, if I think I've hit the first shot, but the game tells me I've missed it, I'm basically screwed because I thought I had a rhythm and I thought I was aiming, and then you start overcorrecting and stuff, and you might as well just disengage because once you thought you'd hit the headshot with the first one, so you thought you were getting the follow-up, it makes it really difficult. So hopefully that starting with it being accurate, starting with getting the headshot, will mean it's easier to land the follow-up shots. So I'm fine with that. I think decreasing the range, the base range, and increasing the damage fall off should be good because it means that they won't be able to challenge a Mida or whatever. You know, if you get into a longer range engagement at the moment, if they hit their shots, if they get lucky with the shots, the time to kill means they could probably still take you, even though really your positioning was better. So you've given yourself enough distance that you should win with a scout rifle. That shouldn't happen. It should take them an extra shot or an extra 2 shots, which it sounds like these changes are going to do. So yeah, I'll give it a go. Sounds all right to me.
Raf, Al, what do you guys think?
Right.
I maybe should stop putting out to 2 people. Shouldn't I? Maybe,
just say. That
is Jay's not doing it. Pick one. Yeah.
I'm enjoying it though. I'm enjoying it. Raf, what are you saying?
Well,
That was not me this time.
I use a palindrome quite a lot, and it is the sort of the meta of the hand cannon world. I remember when me and you were talking about it, you said you couldn't use it that much, and I don't know, I just got good with it because I was just using it so much because I spent, when it came out, and just I spent all my money on it essentially. So I didn't want to use anything else, and then I got all my silver coins back anyway, so it didn't really matter. Legendary marks, not silver coins. Anyway.
What game are you playing?
I completely agree that the base reduction should be taken away from the range of it, because at this point it is essentially a scout rifle, because you can hit anyone across the map with the palindrome. I don't really use any of the hand cannons. I tried using Thorn again. It's not great. It's not the tank it used to be, which is a shame because I used to love that gun. But like I said, I do agree with Finn as well. The whole, your initial sort of accuracy, and then you can line yourself up with it, because it's happened to me loads of times, where it can throw off your entire game, and it's very easy to die once you're kind of stumbling around trying to find the headshot, which you probably already had in the first place. Just the game decided not to let you have the damage. So you move about, and they're already moving as well. So you're trying to reline up your shots, and you just can't do it. So hopefully that will work out. If you can get that first hit, it may give you sort of the follow through you're able to do to get the rest of the damage done, and hopefully kill them off. But yeah, as long as you can't go against like the Mido multi-tool, and a case of where you shouldn't be able to outshoot it and you shouldn't be able to survive it in a sort of like a one-on-one sort of scenario.
Well, what they actually have done is, obviously, so they've removed the ghost bullet kind of thing, so the shots will hit when you're at a certain distance, but the further you go out, they've dramatically reduced the drop off, the damage fall off.
They've not reduced ghost bullets though. It's only initial accuracy, so the bloom's still there.
No,
so they've not. It's the initial accuracy. So with bloom, they said that your final accuracy is exactly the same as it is now, which means that if you spam your hand cannon and it blooms out after each shot, your final accuracy after the bloom is as bad as it is now.
Because I always thought that they increased what they did last time was they increased the first bullet, the first shot that you hit will.
Yeah, so they've increased it more. They've increased it more. The first bullet, they've increased that more. Yeah. But
that's not so much of an issue.
The fourth bullet or whatever is still going to be the same. If you spam your hand cannon at max rate of fire, then you're going to be rolling the dice a little bit.
It's not so much of an issue though, because when your health is low, your instant reaction is to try and move out of the way, to essentially try and survive. Because at the end of the day, you don't really want to sort of trade off deaths with someone. You kind of want to kill them, run off and kill somebody else. So if you're an all right player and you've taken a bit of damage, maybe you start strafing or start sort of like running away to try and regroup and get your health back to sort of continue on the match. It's not detrimental. If you're there and your first shot is a roll of the dice and the game decides that you don't deserve it, you as a player who's being shot at by a hand cannon isn't going to then run away if you've got full health. So it does give you a bit more of an edge than the other way around that they currently have now. So it doesn't matter as much. That, I mean, it's still a bit annoying, but I don't think it's that much of an issue now.
Honestly, Rafi, I have no idea what you're talking about.
With the ghost bullet.
Yeah, but I mean, we've established now is that
I think what they're trying to say is the initial bullet was never the ghost bullet. It was when you were spamming it, and then they weren't registering.
It's not the ghost bullet. Before the ghost bullet was in, it could be in any of them. As in, they've taken away the ghost bullet.
Well, it's not like Luck in the Chamber where one bullet will just miss. It's more so that when you
you shoot,
imagine that. The more you shoot, the more the cone increases, and the less accurate your weapon is. So, But I guess that they've just increased that first. I mean, your first 3 bullets, I think, should be like 100% accurate. And then, because you can kill in 3 bullets. See, if after your first bullet, your second bullet can miss, then what's the point, really?
Well, to be fair,
Bungie thinks you only get one.
miss.
You only get one out. That's it.
You only get one. Everyone gets one.
Somewhere across the way, you can hear Mark going, "Everyone gets one." Yeah, okay. Finn, can you just like sort it out for them, because I think they're not sure what they're actually talking about.
Okay, so as I understand it,
this is why we bought Finn, by the way, guys.
There's going to be more damage fall off with hand cannons, so they're less effective at long ranges where pulse rifles and scout rifles should win. They're going to make it that your first bullet you fire is really, really, really accurate, like it was in year 1. But unlike in year 1, there's a bloom where if you pull the trigger before your gun's properly reset and the bloom's gone down, then there's a cone where it might hit the head, it might be a body shot, it might miss. So if you paced your shots and the bloom had gone back together, then you could fire 3 perfectly accurate shots, but it would be bang, bang, bang. You couldn't just spam it, bang, 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 and get guaranteed results every time. I think that's all it is.
I wonder what's the timer between shots, or I wonder how much bloom increases on the second shot compared to before the patch. I mean, does the bloom on the second shot? I mean, I suppose we don't know yet, really. Do you think the bloom on the second shot is exactly the same as the second shot on what we have now?
Same as now.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Well, the only other thing that they've done is basically they've reduced the max range damage reduction from 50% to 33%, which is quite a lot. So yeah, no longer challenging scout rifles.
So are you happy now? Do you understand, or do you both understand now? Because this is why we got Finn in, just to stop the two brothers arguing about nonsense. So thanks for that.
I'm glad Finn's here.
Okay, should we move on then, or is there anything else they want to talk specifically about? Actually, any of the
one
guns?
more thing. When they were shotgunning, I don't know if there's a couple of things that I noticed that were different. Either with the UI or they were highlighted. I don't know if you noticed that they were highlighted in a yellow kind of highlight kind of glow or something, and then some of them were highlighted.
It's an artifact.
Oh, is it not? Oh, yeah. Is it
Scories?
Scories?
Isn't that Scories?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not Scories.
No, it's not Scories. It's the one that highlights the full on super.
The one I never use, but it's not a patch update. That's already in the game. Just no one uses it.
And there was another thing that I'd never seen before. That when he killed someone, and then he said he got a medal called Phantom, and then it said in the bottom left that is a Phantom. So I don't know what that is.
That's definitely in the game.
What is that?
I get that. I get that all the time. It's just you, Al.
Isn't that 10 kills without how many is it? 15
I think
kills?
It's nine kills in under 2 minutes or something like that. It's to do with speed.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's definitely. And then you had one. We're running out of medals. I've seen that, and it says someone should really do something. I've seen that as well. It's just Alex has never seen that because it's just.
That's 25 kills without dying.
Alex, you just got to get good, man. You got to get good. Just not meant to be. So yeah, all done. Everyone happy with guns? Anything else they want to add?
Special ammo.
Let's move on to the PvP actual arena. So the big thing that Finn wants to talk about is special ammo. So do you want to take it away from here, Finn?
Okay, yeah. So you're still going to spawn when you enter the Crucible match with special ammo, but every time you die, you lose all your special ammo, exactly like heavy ammo. They're changing the special ammo spawns, so they're every 60 seconds. So you shouldn't have to go without for quite as long if you run out or if you die or whatever. And they're also reducing the pickup radius on special, so you can't if your teammate picks up another special box while you're picking up your special box, you won't get the other one. You just get yours.
Decreasing the actual radius.
Yeah, they're decreasing. Yeah, so it's from 100 meters to 75. Yeah. So I think that could mean that you get a bit more people wanting teamwork on special ammo. Wait for me, let me get a bit closer, kind of thing. So that could be fine.
So we best not stick around with Alex then. Yeah.
Alex.
Is that the same with sidearms? Because you actually
sidearms are the exception. So sidearms keep their unique perk of always spawning with ammo. So I think that is the buff to sidearms.
Yeah.
That's So they've left them alone in terms of time to kill and all that kind of stuff, which I thought was fine anyway. But the reason to use sidearms is that you will have ammo. You'll always, when you respawn, have some ammo. Now, I'm fine with this change. I think it's better than the change they made temporarily for a while where you didn't start the game with special ammo. I always felt like that was a bit mean, because sometimes you might have a play style or a loadout where you want to do a certain thing and it wouldn't allow you to. What I think's the problem with it is that already in Trials of Osiris you can get snowballed by supers. So if you lose the first 3 rounds, you might spend the next 2 rounds just getting killed by supers, and you've got no counter. If you die, you lose all your special ammo, but they don't lose theirs. So in round 2, you've all died, you've got no special ammo. It's 60 seconds until the special ammo spawns. If they know they've got special and you haven't, what's to stop them aggressively pushing you with shotguns, which still work? I would push. That would be my strategy. If I won round 1, I would just never let them pick up special ammo.
Well, I think we're going to see an increased amount of, firstly, No Land Beyonds again. I still think No Land Beyond's going to be, and Universal Remote's going to be an option. No Land Sidearm, exactly, because then you're not going to be struggling then. Another thing they did mention as well is Invective and Icebreaker. That is their exotic perk. They start off with nothing, but then they're able to generate it. So although they start off with 0, they're able to start slowly generating it up. So they're going to have that. So I think you're going to see an increase in them as well. But I'm just wondering, as ever with Bungie, and that's not me not saying having no faith in Bungie. I just know Bungie. What exploits are going to be, because there's going to be an exploit.
Well, I mean, what I would
Icebreaker, Invective. You get your Icebreaker and Invective and you swap over. There's going to be something they'll have to hot patch in, I can guarantee you. But Bungie are very slow with their, patching in, I feel.
Lukewarm patches. Tepid patch comes in a couple of weeks later.
I mean, what I would do, I would probably start with the shotgun, and then if I get killed, I'll just switch to a sidearm. And that'll basically what I would do. Or you can't do the Icebreaker glitch to get ammo and then switch, because
you don't know yet, do they? You don't know.
They fixed it, so they might unfix it, but I doubt it.
Exactly. You never know what's going to come with this.
Oh, you mean just switch to? Oh, right. Just switch to an Invective when you die, like if you're using a shotgun. Oh, right. No, I thought you meant just switch to an Invective and then.
No, sorry. Where you switch to an Icebreaker, and then when you're in a screen or something, you can. I don't know. You never know. You don't know.
When you change special weapons now, you lose your ammo. That's quite.
Just hopefully that sticks to that, really.
It should stay the same.
Yeah. And plus,
that's my fear with it for Trials. That's my fear with it for Trials, is that I remember how bad it was when you didn't start the match with any special, like neither side had special ammo. If you lost the first round, they would tend to pick up special ammo. And then round 2, they've got special, you haven't, you lose. Round 3, same again. That's my fear with it, is that elimination games, I feel, it should be a reset each round.
Not if you put a special ammo box at your spawn.
No, but
you still got to wait a minute. Still got to wait a minute.
I mean, Invective, you have to wait 30 seconds, which is still quite a bit to stay in the same place. So that I don't think that'll be such a problem. People changing to Invective, you still got to wait half a minute. I think it's the Icebreaker, because what is it, 8 seconds to get a bullet? All you need is 1 bullet if you're that good with the Icebreaker. Maybe just change it. You get a full clip after 30 seconds, or just you get some ammo after 30 seconds, like with Invective. But
well, let's go farm our Icebreakers in preparation. So one thing, Vin, did you mention that you only get special in the first round of elimination? You did, didn't you?
Yeah. So you spawn with it, and then you've got to pick it up from then on. So
being, obviously you've said what your gut feeling is. Do you reckon this is a change for the better, or do you reckon we're going to see a U-turn in a couple of weeks and months?
I think it's a change for the better overall, but it's a problem for Trials. I think it's fine for everything else. For 6v6, I don't mind. For Skirmish, I don't mind. But I think with the way Trials works, it's going to end up being really frustrating if you end up with no special after round 1. They've got special. I think that'd be really hard.
Although it does say that when you die and respawn, you don't have ammo. And I mean, I didn't watch streams going off what you said. Is that what they said? When you die, you respawn without any ammo?
Yeah.
Especially,
round to round might be different because you don't die.
No, first round of elimination trials only spawns on the first round. Everyone only spawns with a special on the first round.
Yeah.
But I assume that you get to keep it. Like, you don't lose your ammo.
Yeah,
if
you don't lose
die.
your ammo. No, of course, yeah.
You think?
Because yeah, it'd be it'd be weird if you did.
Yeah,
exactly.
like, yeah. Why would you lose it? You wouldn't lose your ammo.
Yeah, there's no reason why you would. That's what I'm saying. Is if you
that's
lost.
why I assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my fear with it for trials. I think it's fine for everything else, but I think they might have to rethink for trials.
Maybe a separate. Just, it can be done. We know that it can be done. It might be a separate rule set, but then is that too much that they will be able to do? Methinks yes, that might be too much, unfortunately. So, well. The next thing.
That's it for special, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. I think next is class changes. So, Hunter, do you want to jump straight in with the Hunter, Finn?
Yeah. So there's one tiny change, which is that throwing knives for gunslingers do solar damage, which is good for PvE. For when there's a burn on, that's fine. But then the main change is that on Blade Dancer, when you do Hungering Blade at the moment, if you get a kill, even if you've got 1 hit point left, immediately your health and shields both start regenerating.
Like Lifesteal and Warlock, is it?
It's better than that. I think on a Blade Dancer, when you've got Hungering Blade on, I think it's better than Lifesteal because you get your shields as well.
Right.
So everyone's seen that situation where someone's popped their Blade Dance, they're coming towards you, everyone's firing at them, and they just get the first kill. Start regenerating, they get the second kill, regenerate again, get the third kill, get the fourth kill, and they've wiped you out, even though you were all shooting at them. Maybe not perfectly, but you were all shooting at them. This change means that you'll get just health regen, not shield. You get like an initial burst of 40 health extra, which if you think, I think it's like 200 health, probably the average. So you get 40 health extra, and then you start regenerating your health, but not your shields. I think that'll make it a lot easier to finish someone off. Because even with the damage reduction for being in Blade Dance, if you shotgun them or something, that'll probably do it. Like they're half health.
Yeah.
You shotgun them, that'll kill them. Whereas you couldn't get through the health and shield before. So I think that's a good change.
I think it looks kind of like, the Touch of Malice when you have the perk active, but you're getting the kills, and it just gradually just gives you health back, if you know what I mean, rather than recharging. Is that what it's like? No.
So you get 40 health as like a chunk after you get the kill. Then your health just regenerates.
Oh,
like it
right,
would if you weren't taking damage, it regenerates your health.
Oh, but
have you seen a Blade Dancer before?
No, I don't think he has. No, I'm getting that feeling. You got something to tell us, Alex? Do you want to come clean?
Just black it out. It's too distressing. No, never happened. Never saw it.
There's strikers I need to black out.
Next
for Hunters, Finn, or
that's it. That's all they did.
No. They're throwing knives. Throwing knives. Throwing knives. All right. Have you said that?
Yeah, they put on a bin.
Yes. Okay. Wait, it's just me then. Sorry, it's just me being stupid and trying to listen and read notes at the same time. Note to self, don't do that. Okay, so Warlocks then. Tasty Warlocks. I think Deej and they must have been listening to our episode last week. Firstly, because a lot of the ideas that Finn put through have been put into place, but also they might have heard Alex saying that Hunters were fine. They were like, nope, let's... not Hunters, sorry, Warlocks were fine. They were like, nope, let's change that. Alex, do you want to tell everyone
I never said the Warlock Stormcaller was fine.
You did. You said you remember. I remember you exactly saying, they're fine, and you keep them the same. We just went no, and you definely said that. So do you want to let everyone know the glorious news?
What they've done is when you're using Landfall, Stormtrance time is reduced. Time in Stormtrance is reduced when you're using the Landfall node. So hopefully they want people to use things other than Landfall. And the other thing is the melee range has reduced. Now, I didn't know. I don't know if that's just the base melee range or that is the node for the
Charged.
charge.
They said charged Thunderstrike. They said charged Stormcaller melee. So that's Thunderstrike, which is the extra range it gets.
Yeah. So they've just nerfed the extra range one, which is fair enough. It was obscenely, but they said to make it in line with other Warlock melees. Now, what? So they've nerfed the Thunderstrike extra range to be just like what other.
So they didn't say it was Amplitude. Amplitude's the one that gets you extra range on your Thunderstrike. I think maybe there's a split. I'm not sure because I think with a Voidwalker or a Sunsinger, it's like 4.5 meter melee range.
Mm-hmm.
But with Amplitude on a Stormcaller, it's 6 meters.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it's like 5 meters base range and then 1 meter from Amplitude. So I'm not sure. But it sounds like it should be, when it's charged, it should be 4.5 meters. But then I don't know what they do with the Amplitude perk. That maybe that adds an extra meter or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know how. I think it might be a percentage. So if the range goes down on the base Thunderstrike, then obviously Amplitude goes down as well. So it remains to be seen how much, but I think it'd still be pretty good. I don't think. I mean, sometimes you get obscene kills. I rarely kill when I'm with a Stormcaller. I rarely kill in the max range it is, and when I do, I'm always really shocked that I was able to kill in that range.
Yeah.
Which is like it is ridiculous range. So I'm not too bothered about that. I rarely play Stormcaller anyway, and I think when I'm meleeing, I tend to be at point blank range anyway. So I think it's a fair shout. It's just for those people who what it is for is the people with shotguns, and they melee first and then they shotgun, and it's really hard to counter against.
I think more people will pick Voidwalker. I think that might push a couple of people towards Voidwalker,
which is good because Voidwalker is awesome.
With the landfall essentially nerfing the time on the super,
Mm-hmm.
What if you're wearing the impossible machines? Because that has it anyway.
They never answered that. They never answered that though. That's the thing. They never.
I think it'll still reduce the duration.
Yeah.
I think it reduces the duration, but you get to have another perk as well.
Because I mean, if you're using a Stormcaller, you're assuming you're going to be using that as well. So it's kind of like a really stupid workaround using an exotic, which you would use anyway, to get around that debuff.
Maybe.
I think the impossible machines, if it takes 2 seconds off when you select it on your subclass tree, it'll take 2 seconds off when you use the impossible machines. Like using the Acleophage symbiote on a gunslinger, reduces the duration. Think about that.
I think I'll still use impossible machines on the Warlock to have Eye on it blink and landfall. I think I'd still use that. I don't think it's.
I don't know. Having Ionic Blink and having a debuff to the amount of time it's on for is kind of silly because it uses up super energy to actually blink forward. So if you can't do as many blinks and get as many kills,
it brings it more down to say Blade Dances, where Blade Dance is a very short amount of time. You get a load of kills in a short amount of time, and then you're out of it. So I think it's kind of like that. You just pop it when you're in a large group of enemies, and you just kill them all, and then you're finished. Whereas before I suppose. It's you pop it, you go kill a load of enemies, you go around to the other side of the map, you kill a few more enemies, and you go around to the middle of the map, you kill a few more enemies. You can't do that with Blade Dancer. You'd be out of it by the time you've killed a few enemies. So I think they're bringing it in line with Blade Dancer's roaming super, which is fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And with regards to Titans, not much has changed. Just something to do with Juggernaut. So moving on, we've got.
Wait a minute.
So basically, they've just. They've made it so Juggernaut, when you're in the air, it disables after a short time, so you can't just keep flying about with a Juggernaut shield. I didn't see if it was when you were running. I'm pretty sure he kept jumping in the air to justify the point, so I'm pretty sure it is just when you're in the air.
It still lasted a while, though. It still lasted a while.
Still, yeah, it's good too.
There was a clip where he jumped up and he still had enough time to close a pretty big gap. Like he was on Bannerfall, wasn't it? And he travelled the entire length of the Mohawk with his shield up. And then it went down. That to me doesn't look like a nerf, really.
It's all right. It's honestly, Finn, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, they have to lower the shield, don't they, to use a weapon
to shoot. Yeah.
So it's quite sometimes I don't know. Sometimes they can telegraph quite easily that all you have to do is shoot before they shoot, because they need to add a few frames into being out of Juggernaut and then ADSing. So I think ADS with the nerf to shotguns, the ADS is going to be slower. I think you're going to have an easier time with Juggernauts thanks to the shotgun nerf.
Hopefully they won't have any ammo.
Yeah, they won't have any ammo. Yeah. They'll just be running at you with a shield, and then they'll go out the shield and they're oh, I've only got a fusion rifle.
Yeah, then start primary gunfire.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Anyway, moving on. Now, I actually got hired to run downstairs at one point, so the next bit I just wrote down two little things. Question mark universal remote, and I also put knee pad issues. So I think they said that they did look at some perks, and one of the perks they looked at was knee pads. They didn't specify, so that we're looking for that.
I think I know what it might be.
Go on.
They might have already fixed it, but there was a problem with year one Matadors and possibly other shotguns where if you got crowd control, then you also got knee pads for free.
Right.
And there's little weird things like that. So it could be something along those lines.
Okay.
I don't know, but it could be something like that. I don't think it's anything to worry about.
I mean, knee pads, I've never really used a shotgun with knee pads. I mean, I do slide shotgun, but I never seem to have a problem.
Use your knees. You never use your knees. They also mentioned that Shinobu's Vow has been hit. They mentioned Blink's been hit. He actually said that if you looked previous in the stream, you'd see the nerfed or what the effect of.
They didn't say they nerfed Blink. They said they changed it.
They changed it, and they said if you look back, you'll be able to see what the changes are. I didn't clock it.
So it could be a buff.
What do you think realistically?
The distance travelled. I don't really know. They what they'd either do is reduce or increase the distance travelled, or remove or increase the little trail as you.
I think it'll be to do with ready time. That's what they keep fiddling with on Blink. It's how quickly you can get your gun out and point it at someone after you've blinked. So they'll have adjusted that again, maybe because of the shotgun changes or whatever. They might have just changed that again. That's what it'll be, I expect. Which, fine, I don't use Blink. It's fine.
They also said Young Wolf's Howl has been hit or changes. So again, we'll have to really wait and see.
Is that the sword? On
the patch notes, that's the sword, yeah. So we'll have to wait and see, really. But yeah, like I said earlier on, there was no mention of scout rifles, no mention of sniper rifles, and one thing that the chat was going mental for was scories. No mention of scories. I mean, he actually...
What, the artifact?
Yeah, he actually did say people are talking about scories.
Them, didn't he? Yeah,
have you changed scories? No, we've not touched any artifacts. And then people went mental saying, right, not touch scories, I'm out.
Because I think that team's oblivious to it. I don't think potentially, because Bungie's a big company and things are split up. Maybe the artifacts are nothing to do with them. Like, they've never looked at them. They've never looked at the stats on them. It's nothing to do with them. The artifacts. It's not on their spreadsheet. It's not their problem. I suspect that's what it was, because the scories thing is annoying. Okay, so in trials, and it's especially a problem in trials. If you have, say, 3 Stormcallers huddling up with electrostatic mind, or one person charges their super, then you kind of hide in a corner until everyone gets their super up, and then you've got 3 supers to attack the enemy with. It's not really action-packed space shooter gameplay. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help the game. It's not a benefit to gameplay. It's not big. It's not clever. You hide in a corner and wait for your supers to charge. So I kind of would prefer if it wasn't a thing in the Crucible, if it was just a PvE thing. But I bet it's nothing to do with that team. But they have nothing to do with it. That would have been the Rise of Iron team did that, and they've just left it alone.
Yeah, no, I agree. But that's one thing that they are crying out for. And a lot of people getting quite salty about it, so I assume we will hear something about that soon. I mean, realistically, just quickly then, what do you reckon they could do with scories?
Well, Well, the whole point of it is to get your super by being next to each other. So that's the problem, isn't it? Obviously, people going in a corner and doing it. The only thing they can do is reduce the amount, but then still people go in a corner just for longer. I don't know.
I don't think it was thought through when they put it in, so I think they're in trouble.
No,
they've got a problem.
I mean,
the only thing we can do is disable it in trial and disable it in PvP.
Yeah, switch the effect off in the Crucible. That's probably the simplest way of doing it.
It only works on one person. It doesn't work on more than one. You can only give it the buff to one.
But you've lost the whole point of the thing then.
How do you pick? How would you select?
Whoever's closest. I don't know. You just alternate between being close. Yeah. Don't know.
I mean, just get rid of it. I think some of the other artifacts are really interesting and they're worth having in. Although they do negate exotic armor, but still, I think some of them are worth having in.
What if when you're dead, it charges you super up quicker? Like it charges other people super up quicker. If you like hang around with like a dead orb, it charges their super up quicker.
You don't get any supercharge when you're dead.
No. But if you've got your super up full and you die, like Radiance knows that you've got your super when you're dead because it says Radiance. So what if?
So the scoring strategy would be to jump off the side of the map. Then people stand next to your dead orb, charge their super, res you, and then go triple storm trance.
Rampage. Yeah, I think no matter what, they're always going to have exploits, and this is no matter what Bungie do, they're always going to have exploits. And I think, we talked about Overwatch before, and I think Overwatch has had its exploits before, and they've had, Blizzard have had to change it. No matter what, where there's a will, there's a way, and where there's a player base, they'll always find an exploit. Yeah. So it's just really dealing with them and then trying to figure out how to really deal with it the best way possible, realistically. I think that's it, really, isn't it? You're always going to have people who are going to be out there looking for we had cheese spots. We spent time and hours looking for cheese spots in year one, and in the raids, in the strikes. No matter what, there's always going to be exploits, and it's just up to Bungie to manage them properly. Mm-hmm. And hopefully they do. That's the main thing. Hopefully they do. So I think that's it in terms of the hot fix, whatever it's called, 2.5.02. Realistically, kind of looking overall, are you guys happy with it? Are you looking forward to it? Obviously we won't know until we've actually played it. So by the time we record next week, we'll have actually had some, apart from Rafi, we'll have actually been able to delve in a little bit and actually figure out how it plays, see what, put it into practice. But overall, what are your kind of thoughts? Are you happy? To someone, or are you gonna yeah, I'm going to put that to myself. No, I'm going to put that to Finn.
I think overall it sounds pretty good. I would say it's just good to have change. I think they have got into the habit of leaving things for too long. I hate using the phrase meta, but it does happen, and people work out what the easiest way to be effective is, which at the moment is a clever dragon and a matador. And when, as the game's developer, if you just leave it there and you don't do anything for ages, it becomes toxic. People get sick of being killed by the same thing. You've made a game with 500 guns in it, and everyone's using 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever because you've made them too powerful. And just change it. If you make a change and it turns out it's not the best change ever, that's fine, because you can just change it again and it shifts it again, and then it keeps it interesting, and people are trying to duck and weave, and they've got Reddit discussions about, okay, they've done this update, what does this mean, what should we change to, for whatever. But it should be happening every 6 to 8 weeks, just a little hot fix, just changing this gun this time, little buff there, little nerf there. We've tested just this small bit out and it worked. They've left it too long. I know you said it didn't go far enough, but it's a lot of changes. I don't see why they couldn't have brought this out in 2 or 3 patches. Maybe the special ammo comes out separately or whatever, but there's a lot of the gun stuff. They could have just gone, okay, we've fiddled around with all these stats on the guns. Why couldn't that have come out earlier?
In an ideal world,
they've just made the change, because people get sick of seeing the same thing, and a lot of it's the feedback they get every day. Every day they get this feedback, and I think they just take too much time over it.
A weapons
you better do it
balance
wrong and
once
get it
every
out
6
straight
months.
away.
A balance, a kind of a weapon balance once every 6 months is not enough for a
No,
living,
it's not,
breathing
no.
game. No, it's not.
No, it's not
I mean,
enough.
what if they? I mean, this is obviously hypothetical and wishful thinking, but what if they balance it to the point where it is truly balanced and they don't actually need to change it?
Impossible. It's not no.
It's a living, breathing game.
Um,
It's a living, breathing game. There's always going to be something to do in it.
The only way you could do that is if all the guns were the same. If they were just exactly the same.
If it was basically it was Halo or GoldenEye, just where you didn't have your own guns, you just used.
But
the guns.
Halo wasn't balanced. Halo wasn't balanced. I just used the pistol.
Yeah, the pistol.
I just
so
used the
good.
pistol. You could kill. It was better than a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't balanced at all. But that was a long, long time ago. And
the galaxy's far, far away.
when a game came out, that was it. That was the game. That's not the case now. And I just think they're giving themselves far too much time to do these updates. They do this update, they should schedule that they're changing it again by April. Whatever the change is, just change it. Or add new guns in that change what people want to use. You've got to change it, because that gives people the sense that things are shifting, and maybe this meta wasn't for you. Let's say you hated shotguns. I know loads of people who hate shotguns. And this wasn't your time. Like, really wasn't your time. Like, you maybe stuck it out, but you didn't enjoy getting killed by all the shotguns. Like, every time it wound you up. If you know that you've got to put up with that for 6 months, that's hard. If you think, well, maybe next month they'll kick shotguns in the teeth and I'll be on the fusion rifles and I'll be happy then. And then shotguns come back in, and then it's sidearms, and then it's you don't even need to use special weapons because the Soros regime kills everyone. Whatever. They just need to change it. It keeps people interested. You know, all your content creators make videos about the changes you've made. Oh, try this loadout with this gun and that kind of thing. And it keeps it all alive. If you just give people the same meal every day for 6 months, they're going to get pretty sick of it.
Not if it's pizza.
Even pizza. Every day
that.
for 6 months.
Trust the man. This man knows pizza. Yeah, it's the thing is though, the live team was brought in to give live content to us. Would you prefer to have the live team working on balancing the game and monitoring the game?
Who knows what difference that would make? Like, why would the live? I mean, it's down to the
because it's a live game. It's a live game.
No, but the live team is more for events and just events basically. I mean, this is the mechanics of the game. I
thought it was kind of part of the same, probably part out of the same budget, though, isn't it? The live team deals with events and also ongoing balance. I thought that came out of the same department that's paid for by Sterling Treasure or whatever.
Not what I understand, but maybe. I mean, I don't really know how they delegate work to which departments. But as far as I'm aware, live team is. I mean, they didn't say this is live team update. This is done by the live team.
Sandbox. This is Sandbox.
Yeah,
this is done by the
Sandbox team.
Yeah.
The Sandbox team. That's who has done it.
Sandbox designers, yeah.
Sandbox designers, that's it. And then they call this a Sandbox update and whatnot. But I mean, yeah, I think the problem is that with this update, I mean, to look at the positives, obviously auto rifles. I'm really excited to get my hands on the auto rifles. I'll try out the low rate of fire pulse rifles for maybe a game, see what they're doing. Hand cannons look okay, I guess they look good. I mean, the problem is that still the best shotgun to use is Matador. They haven't changed that. It's just a bit harder to use, but all the other shotguns are harder. They've basically done a flat nerf for all shotguns. But unfortunately, the Matador and that archetype of shotgun does reign supreme. And you will, if you are coming up against another shotgunner who is not using that archetype, and you shoot from the same, the max range and the max range of Matador, you will win. So, unfortunately, they haven't changed that. The shotguns, I still think, are going to be used as much as I think the only thing that they've done positively is the sidearm situation, which obviously didn't change, but because of the special ammo nerf, sidearms, I think, are going to play a big part. But I don't think shotguns are going to be any less effective than what they currently are.
Well, I mean, Raf's been very, very quiet over in that corner. What are you thinking, Raf?
Overall, I mean, I won't know until I've actually played it, to be fair. I'll probably go in on the only difference I'm going to notice is the fact that my special weapon is going to go.
Special ammo.
I reckon that's going to... Yeah, the special ammo. I reckon that's the only thing I'm ever going to notice about all the updates, because I'm not great with PvP in general anyway. I'm not really going to notice the 8% increases or 5% decreases, or this does that slightly differently. Like, it doesn't really compute that well with me, because I usually die too quick, or I usually just randomly kill someone anyway, so it's not going to make too much of a difference for me. It's going to be more, nitty gritty for, I don't know, people like Finn, who do rely on these numbers. I don't say rely, but like, who's actually good at PvP. It'd be better to actually just get in and actually play it out and see if it does make that much of a difference, see if it does stop, see, as like Finn said, the metas being the metas, and if it stops, people running around with Matador killing everyone every 30 seconds, or, I mean, you said all the way through it that the videos kind of contradicted what they were saying anyway, so, like, I don't know. I mean, it all sounds fine, but I need to play before I can give any sort of judgment on it.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, unless anyone's got anything else to say, I think we're done this week, aren't we? I think we've talked a lot about that. I mean, like, the main thing we need to do is really need to establish what it feels like, which hopefully we will do next week. I do want to say we were meant to be doing our top 3 and bottom 3 raid bosses. Again, we were meant to do that last week. We were meant to do it this week. We got talking about guns. So we probably will do it next week, because we'll just, obviously, all we'll have to talk about is, how it feels. So, that could be a good point, but we will get it out, I promise you. I do promise you that. So we'll get that out next week. Just trying to think, is there anything else? I think we're all done, really. Unless anyone else has got anything they want to add last, and finally, did they want to add anything else, or are we all done? I think we're done, aren't we?
Yeah, that's it for me.
That's it that's a good start. So I just wanted to get onto the boring admin stuff. The best place to listen to us is on iTunes. If you go to itunes.com or .co.uk, or the app on your phone and type in Fireborn Radio, you'll be able to find us. Other ways of listening to us is on our Podbean site, which is firebornradio.podbean.com. Whilst you're on both sites, if you could subscribe to both of them, give us a like, give us a review, just helps us a little bit more. That'd be fantastic. If you want to contact us, the best place to do it is always on our Twitter profile, which is at Fireborn Radio. We do have our personal profiles, so mine's at JT6688. Alex's is?
Mine is at FBR_Alex. I just want to give a shout out to Sentinel Dad on the Slack channel. He said, I asked questions, what's people's thoughts, and he said he's going to pull his Dusty Doctrine back out, and Matt Brooks is saying that the ammo loss on special ammos is huge. I just want to say hello to you.
Hello to you all. Yeah, I just kind of pinch something from Crimson Major, which is Matt Brooks, who you've all heard him on this podcast before. He's the one who actually, initially started it by saying he wasn't happy with having a patch every 6 months, and I just kind of robbed it. So I do apologise, Matt. But you got a shout out there. Finally, Raf's is?
Mine's at FBR_Rafi.
And if you fancy some pizzas and you're in the Mansfield area, you need to speak to our good man and our good friend Finn. What is it?
Have Van Will Travel. Everything. Will travel. It's Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Sherwood Fired.
Awesome. We do have a Facebook page, which I don't think has been updated this year, which is facebook.com/Fireborn Radio. Yeah, guys, thank you all for joining me. Thank you to each and every one of you out there listening. Again, if you've got anything you want to add to the podcast, what you think of the patch update, and what you think if we've done something wrong, said something wrong, and you disagree, let us know.
On YouTube as well.
Yes, we're also on YouTube. Sorry, I forgot about that. It's only happened in the past couple of episodes, so my whole kind of spiel is getting longer and longer each week. So guys, we release each and every Thursday, and we will be back next Thursday with some more Destiny goodness for you. In the meantime, take care, Guardians, and see you next week.